That makes sense. Yes, happy Thursday, everyone. You know, when I was a kid, we had a few things that we were scared of. The British Army, tuberculosis. I kid, I'm not that old. But we all had the same fears. There was the boogeyman hiding in your closet, under your bed. You never really knew what he looked like, but you imagined it was this. I had a really wide closet. There was the threat of nuclear war, kidnappers who kept the back of milk cartons filled with interesting breakfast reading material, great white sharks, quicksand. Remember quicksand? Yeah, we'd be busy looking out for quicksand, and then we get hit by a drunk driver. Also, there were cults, you know, like the Manson family, and they were not much of a family. I'm glad I got out of that early. So that's 8 fears. Some are not real, others mostly overblown. So I envy the kids today, not just because they're taller. They just have much more to be scared of. There's this, and this, and this, and this. But worse, the streets are filled with nightmarish characters that would make Freddy Krueger call an Uber instead of walking the 4 blocks home. There's the mentally ill and criminally deranged who roam the streets. And thank God for that, or we'd have no live audience members tonight. Yeah, that's a jab at you guys. There's also junkies and drunkies laying right in your path. It's so awkward when they ask for autographs, especially when I once dated them. You have homeless using your stoop as a bathroom, and they never, ever clean up. Plus, they give lousy directions. Seriously, never ask. I did once, and Chris Wallace threw up all over me. Yeah, while Hollywood concocts pointless dystopian mulch like Handmaid's Tale, we're living the real thing. Hell, save yourself some money and cancel Netflix and just go for a walk after dark. You'll become the main character and part of a murder mystery by 11 p.m. According to the New York Post, a paper owned by our parent company, Mike and Carol Brady, New York City kids are now in therapy due to a constant state of panic. Yeah, just what NYC needs, a whole generation of Woody Allens. But their fear is rational. Think about it. The homeless, the crime, the drugs, Anthony Weiner. Still here. And that's just inside the sandbox at pre-K. In NYC, children are being traumatized by real horrors that leave permanent scars. According to the Post, after funneling thousands of the homeless into city hotels, and not just Motel 6, unprovoked crimes have exploded. Not to mention room service is now impossible to get in under 2 hours. Trying to order that meth? Oh, man. On top of that, add state bail reform, which released tons of vile thugs. COVID released even more. The only people left in America's jails are those who stole office supplies on January 6th. We decriminalized sidewalk camping, panhandling, and shooting up in public. The result? A liberal's dream come true. We're all equal in abject misery. Major crimes are up all over. In Midtown, a 60% increase. Robberies are up 57%. There have been 10 murders alone so far in just 3 precincts this year, double the number during the same period last year. And they happened when Kat was out of town, so we can't blame her. According to Human Resources, we can't blame her, although one of the bodies was covered up under a pile of hair extensions. And in the old days, if you wanted to see the show, The Full Monty, you used to buy tickets for Broadway. Now you get the full Monty from the 3 homeless guys in front of our building. So now city parents are sending their kids to therapists because it takes a professional to say, how does seeing a naked pooping man harass you for money make you feel? But good for the parents. At least they're doing something, but really they should do more. Why don't you just leave? Isn't that the right thing to do? You know, I get it. We love our kids, but not if it means giving up our season tickets to the Metropolitan Opera or missing the Gay Pride Parade every year. Good God, what kind of rubes do you take us for? Well, I'd question their judgment, but they already vote Democrat. I know, it's easy for me to say I got no kids, but you can no longer relax thinking it's just thug-on-thug crime. It's Russian roulette for all of us. We're all in the barrel. Kids now get to see the boogeyman every day, on the way to class, on the subway. I understand soldiers coming home from war suffering PTSD from what they saw, but 4th and 5th graders coming home from school? So some families are smartly leaving. According to a recent head count, we've seen a 10% drop in kids under 5 since 2019. And not all of that can be attributed to erectile dysfunction caused by Lizzo. Someone has to point it out. Total public school enrollment has dropped by 73,000 since the pandemic. But who knows, they may finally learn something. Meanwhile, more and more, it's women who become the victims. A recent one was a young mother of 5 who was brutally beaten by a transient freak. You know, talk about a change in society. It used to be women and children first when it came to avoiding suffering. Now it's get them to the front lines. I guess you could say that's the only equity that Democrats have actually delivered.
Let's welcome tonight's guest.
She's never depressed because she's always looking up. Co-host of America's Newsroom and The Five, Dana Perino. Yes. He's the star of the new comedy special, Don't Quit Your Day Job. Aww. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. Good name. Her laugh doubles as a hyena's mating call.
That's fair.
Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. And he uses a parking meter as a Q-tip. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus. Jamie, welcome back.
Good to be here.
I wouldn't presume that yet.
Okay.
Yes. Assuming your kids still speak to you, I don't know. Would you ever move here with children if you had a great career change? Like we were to offer you an amazing gig for zillions of dollars?
For zillions, I would do it.
Yes.
Because honestly, I didn't even know that was real. I would not move here with my kids. It's frightening. It was like 2 in the morning last night, and I was at the hotel, and I wanted to go for a walk. And I swear, I left my hotel and just immediately went back inside. I was like, this is dangerous, dude. Like, what is going on in New York? And I get a lot of it's happening in Hell's Kitchen, which, I mean, it is called Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You can't be surprised. It's like, oh my God, can you believe what's happening in Satan's butthole? I just can't believe it. I enjoy, some of the homeless people I enjoy more than others. I like one with a talent, you know? Like the other day I saw this guy, he was being a statue. He was like not moving at all. And he's making all this money for not moving.
Yeah.
And then I walked about a half mile down the road and there was another homeless guy jumping up and down, shaking a cup. And I was like, dude, if you just friggin' hold still. You are working way too hard.
Yes.
But I really don't think I'd move here with my kids right now. I think it's honestly too dangerous, for real.
Well, there you go. Tyrus,
What?
what kind of advice would you give, like, let's say you had to live here, what would you give your kids?
Well, I would start with the parents. We got to parent up now. You know, you got to get off your phone. You got to be vigilant. You have to have conversations with your kids. You have to sit them down. I grew up in a rough neighborhood, but I knew what to do when somebody bad came around, when you saw people. And so what's happening is we're hearing, like, oh, my child is traumatized. Well, what are you doing about it? Because not all of us can leave. Some of us have to just bear with it. And the best way to do that is by having tough conversations about your kids, about life lessons, and talking about not just, if you describe him as the boogeyman and you don't know where he comes from and all this stuff, then the kids don't quite get it. But when you sit them down, and it's tough to tell an 8-year-old that this is what happens with substance abuse, and this is what happens when people don't take care of themselves. It's not, and it's going to be a, but why, Daddy? But why? Can't we give him a hug? And you have to explain to them, because I've had these conversations. It's not fun, and you have to keep bringing it up, and you have to practice. I practice with my kids all the time what to do if a stranger comes up to you. And one of the rules that we live by is, like, from what looks scientifically, pedophiles and kidnappers, they usually like innocent children. Who are like, so my kids, if somebody walks up to them that they don't know, they'd be like, what you want to do? So they do. They do. We practice this.
No, it's true. I've seen it.
We practice this. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes a little awry.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter, I got her a phone because I'm a FaceTime dad. All my kids have phones, and we FaceTime and do homework and stuff. She got a random message from AT&T welcoming her new phone.
Yes.
The operator who sent the message got, if you ever call my phone again, I'll kill you. So, and her mother would, but after I explained it to her mom in the court, they were good with it. So you gotta educate your kids.
That explains a lot of their responses to me when I'm in the green room.
Yes.
But, Dana, this leads me to a very interesting observation or point or epiphany, if you will. Children are in a weird way, they are like liberals in the sense that they have empathy without wisdom. So it's like when you're walking down the street with a kid and the kid says, Mommy, Daddy, why didn't you give that man money? He has a little dog. And you're like, because the money isn't going to the little dog, Janie. It goes to inside his arm. And then he gets really, really high and then he steals things. And it's like children, in a weird way, they're not there yet. And so they don't know what's going on. Do you ever worry about this happening to your dog, Percy?
I do worry about.
Have you had to talk with Percy?
I do worry about one of them attacking Percy.
Yeah.
I do, because I think one of the things is people have to start living in the real world. So the New York that you loved, the New York either you grew up with or the New York you moved here for during the Rudy Giuliani years and the Bloomberg years, that New York is no longer here.
Yeah.
And so there is this wishful thinking or this dream of that you think it's going to get better. I actually don't see how it gets better. I'm usually a pretty optimistic person.
Wow.
And
You made a book called Things Are Gonna Be Okay.
But you know what?
Unless you go to New York.
Exactly.
That's your next
But
book.
everything will be okay if you make smart decisions.
Right.
And one of the decisions people are having to make is, one, do they leave if they can? But Tyrus, I think you make a good point. They can't all leave. But what can you do to basically take the innocence of your children that you love, but make sure that they are also going to be safe? Because the violence now is just so random.
Yes.
It's random everywhere. I am a little bit nervous, not so much for Percy. I mean, sometimes you think if you have a dog, you'll be safer. There is that. But I think I'd be a lot more safe if Tyrus could teach me how to say that like your daughter says it.
I got you. I would pay to see. Oh, don't pretend like you don't swear, Dana. We have actually film proof of that, which I would call up now, but I don't have it on hand. But I have.
It's all in presentation, Gutfeld.
Yeah, I need the
Yeah, I
presentation
need to teach you to do
skills.
like a what? Yeah, I got you.
I can't be like, hey, mother.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to say it.
Yeah.
We're both lucky being small because, like, usually a lot of the homeless people are taller than me, so they look right past me. I think it's one of those great things.
What? That does not make sense.
Yeah, homeless people, they're like, who's the biggest guy?
Yeah. Yeah. If that was the case, I'd come into work every day going, you would not believe what happened.
Well, I know the cat you have had because you walk quite a way from the west side over and stuff. Do you think the city is irretrievable? Like Dana, that's the most pessimistic thing I've ever heard from Dana.
Yeah, I think probably, because we all still live here. You're like, why do you live here? It's like, well, you do. We all do.
Because we have to work
I have
here.
to, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they're mean. Like in the pandemic, do you remember when all there was to do was walk?
Yeah.
When you lived here, my husband and I, we were walking around, and some homeless guy started shouting at Cam, going, because it was the pandemic, so I looked really, really bad, and we all looked ugly then, right? He started shouting like, "I bet you wish you knew 10 years ago that she would look like this 10 years later." I was like, I'm only 32. 31, I forget. Those are some tough times.
Yes.
But I went home and I took a shower, so.
Yeah.
Maybe actually helped.
Yeah, I think that was a positive interaction with a homeless person.
I should have given him money.
Yeah, you should have. Thank you.
Judgmental
Wonder if he's still
homeless
alive.
person.
Yes.
You made me think of too, Greg, like homeless guy with a dog. You gotta feel bad for that dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just going like, are we going in soon?
It's true.
3 weeks.
It's true.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.